Hello and welcome back to the Pitwall Podcast, where today we are predicting for the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is the first try for sure. This is one of my favorite tracks. Honestly, it's not, but it's one of Lewis's favorite tracks. So like,
it just inherently becomes your favorite track.
Hana means family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, this has been held 41 times. So this will be the 42nd time. Lewis has already won this 8 times. Is number 9 coming this weekend? We'll see. McLaren's won it 13 times, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think this time last year, McLaren had some crazy shenanigans happen at this track where they like pitted people at the wrong time and like made the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
They also did that at Monza, and that was a whole thing. So hopefully we don't get anything like that this year, because I believe it was a banger of a race that got ruined by them. So
fair.
This is a 14-turn track. It's kind of, people call it the Monaco without the walls. Everybody's always like, stop saying that, 'cause it's super annoying. But it's 4.381 kilometers. It's 70 laps, which is like a lot. Compared to Spa, which is like the shortest lap count of the year. So
Gonna be a long race.
Anyway, gonna be a long, complicated race, I feel like. And there's a lot going into this weekend, including Aston Martin finally bringing updates. I will say we're recording this later than normal, so practice 1 has happened.
Yeah.
So we can kind of talk about it like a little bit, because neither of us had a chance to watch it, I don't think.
No.
But I did look at the results, and Aston Martin actually looks like maybe they actually made some progress. Lance did, I think, break his suspension, or at least damage the car without any extra parts. Yep. So business as usual.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They're purring right along. All right. So anyway, with all that said, last year, the fastest lap was done by George Russell, but pole position was Charles Leclerc, and then the McLarens won. So there's a lot of like, what could happen? So who's your pole position?
Charles Leclerc.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So like you said, we didn't really look at, or we didn't watch practice, but if you look at results, he's the fastest right now. And I know practice doesn't really say anything, but given that, on top of him being pole last year, it's like, it's fair. It's kind of like, well, if I'm going to pick somebody who I feel like has confidence enough to get pole, it's going to be the guy who got pole and is currently in the fastest in practice.
Okay. Well, I was also going to say Charles Leclerc before practice, and now I'm just definitely going to say Charles Leclerc. So I just feel like Ferrari feels the need and also have to like do well this weekend. So I feel like they're going to. Yeah. So that's kind of like the vibe. Yeah. So, but my race is where it gets interesting, but it's really going to seem like just because I watched practice, but I had already thought of this. This just confirmed it.
Yeah.
But so I'll tell you what. You always have to go first. So I'll give you P3. I'll give you P3, and then you give me your P3, and then you give me your P2, and I'll give you. See what I mean? Like, Okay. So my P3 is Max Verstappen.
All right.
I've not because of practice. They use P2 in practice, so cooking.
Sure.
I just feel like he's going to be better. Though they did bring the Macarena wing back, so if it doesn't close all the way, but Hadjar is completely unaffected by it.
That's fair. That's fair.
He could be in a good place. But here's the thing: this track doesn't have a lot of straight line situations, so I feel like Max can be able to push better. But I just don't think the car is quite there yet. So I'm gonna say P3.
Okay. My P3 is Charles Leclerc.
Classic Leclerc.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much my only motive for this. Is it's just a classic Leclerc moment where you have hope and then it's all shattered.
Dude, his pole to win stat is just so bad.
Exactly.
I remember when Max passed and he had more wins on Leclerc poles than my gosh. I don't even know what the stat is anymore. I stopped keeping track. It's got to be a couple more since then. Okay, so who's your P2?
P2 is Max Verstappen.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I'm kind of in the favor of kind of what you just said. There's not a lot of straights. There's a lot more chance for him to get ahead of people and kind of hold it, because the straight line speed won't matter as much this time around. So I think just his driving capability with the current car, I think he'd be at least able to get P2.
It's a driver's track for sure. Okay. Well, my P2 is Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
So like, I think he will do well, but like, I don't know. I think he's just gonna. I think something's gonna happen to him where like he probably should have won, and then didn't. Yeah. But he's also been very lucky the last couple weekends. Yeah. The stewards came out today and fully admitted that they should have given him a penalty last race. So that's already something. Yeah. The safety car saved him from losing or having a chance at losing. In England. So like, you know, it's just a matter of time before his luck is over again. But he had a horrible luck before that, so it's kind of
it's been pretty
it's gonna
rough.
Balance out. So I feel like P2 is like nothing horrible happened, just balancing. So.
Do you think Charles Leclerc would ever leave Ferrari?
No.
Even if it's just.
I think at this point, because he's signed again. Yeah. It would take Lewis or somebody to just like win like 4 championships in a row or something crazy that would fair. It would just be like emotionally uncomeback-fromable, if that's a word.
Great.
Yeah, I'm good at English.
I am good English.
I am good English. Okay, well my P1 is Lewis Hamilton.
Okay. All right.
So I feel like he feels like he has to win this weekend, and I feel like he actually has a chance, and hopefully I'm right, but that's just what I'm feeling. Yeah. What about you?
My P1 is, let's say it together, Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were going to say.
He's going to be the youngest freaking world champion ever. I'm calling it. I have an 85% feeling it's going to be this year. And
yeah, I guess he could get it next year too, theoretically. I forgot about that.
I think it'll be in the next 2 years.
Oh yeah, I think so too. So I've been thinking about this. I'm like, okay, what are anybody else's actual chances? It's gonna take a combination of one driver surging ahead the other couple of drivers that are in this, which is Max, Leclerc, and Russell. Yeah.
I'm pulling Max a little out of the equation for this.
I guess what I mean is to pick off points.
No. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So basically what I'm saying is I think if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Lewis this season.
I feel like it'd be.
It could completely change after the summer break. We know how this stuff goes.
I thought about George. I just don't know if it's. There's not a lot of consistency enough for it to be.
I just don't see a way Mercedes wins it and it's not Kimi at this point. Yeah. Like, especially after last weekend, it's just kind of like. But there's a lot of time left. So anyway, back to
I am a Red Bull Kimi Antonelli fan, though. I will say that. Like I'm rooting for Red Bull, but like I have all the hope in the world for this kid.
See, I love Kimi too. That's the thing. That's what's killing me about this. Yeah. Like, so I just need Lewis to win 1 year, like just to like
championship. Or
one
just
championship. No, one championship just to like.
Yeah. I mean,
so I don't think about the rest of my life.
Considering the points now, he's definitely still got it in him.
Yeah. So if the other 3 of those drivers can pick some points off of Kimi here and there, I think Lewis has to win 6 races total.
Yeah. So you would rather Lewis win?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
So if he wins this race, this would be 2. Yeah. I just think the magic number is 6. The Dutch GP is also similar. Lots of turns. Maybe Ferrari could win that. Then Italian, I mean, they always pull some magic, but I'm not going to. With the way their car is this year, no way. Yeah. They've already driven the Madring, and they're the only ones that drove it. So maybe, probably not still, though. Singapore, I think he could win. Yeah, Coda, I actually think he could win. I was driving it in the F1 game last night. I'm thinking about this. Just because of the one long back straight, there's the Maggots and Beckett section, which Lewis was the fastest in Silverstone. And then the entire Sector 3 is twist. So I think he can make up enough time to make it competitive. And then Brazil... got like good chance.
Yeah.
We're gonna know a lot from this weekend. If he wins this weekend like pretty well, then we'll be like, okay, if he can do the things that I'm saying. Yeah. And then there's got to be one other, and it also kind of comes down to what tracks actually stay on the calendar with what gets canceled. Because like he could win Qatar potentially, but if it's not on the calendar and they replace it, they replace it with Malaysia, which has 2 long straights.
I'm not gonna get it.
It could be like a match from last year where it's like so I think Kimi's gonna have some more bad luck. He's gonna take an engine penalty one race where Lewis could win like that. Then this weekend, then a couple others. So that's why I'm like, it's possible, but it's gonna take those lists.
The odds are gonna have to stack.
But that is possible. Yeah. And like what we saw from Max last year was not only consistency was key, but also, I mean, McLaren helped them out with making multiple mistakes, including the Vegas thing where, I mean, they almost threw the whole thing away with flank wear.
That's fair.
I'm saying that's like what has to happen in order for him to win.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, maybe Ferrari turns it around over the summer break and comes back with a faster straight line speed and is able to get like more P2s consistently.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, the other thing that's got to happen is Lewis has got to be clearly ahead of Leclerc a lot to where if there's a situation, Leclerc's got to give up a P2 for Lewis. Like, and that's I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, all that to say, Kimi's probably going to win, which is really cool.
I think so.
And I just really want like a straight up battle between him and Lewis, like for a whole season. I feel but maybe that's what we're getting. And in retrospect, we'll be like, remember the battle? But like right now, it feels like there's a gap.
It's just Kimi.
But I mean, Leclerc stayed with him in the last
Ferrari
race.
didn't perform bad last week. That's the thing.
It feels like they did.
Last race,
It feels like they did, but they didn't. So anyway, how do you think Aston's going to do?
I mean, not great. I mean, probably back in the field again. I mean,
that would be crazy. They got like P8 at one point.
They probably won't know how to drive in a faster car at this point.
Alonso said he's lost his drive or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Wouldn't you if you're in a freaking car that's going slower than the cars in 1950?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, dude.
Yeah,
it's bad. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. It would be pretty funny if they both DNF'd.
Yeah,
be pretty funny. Yeah, so, or if it's like the car's going fast, but you see it literally like shaking as it goes down the road, like wacky races or something.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut. If some European audiences might not know what wacky races is, look it up. It's funny. Okay, that's our recommendation for this week. All right, I think that's it. Last race before the summer break. Lewis Hamilton's gonna win by a mile. It's gonna be great.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.